Hi there and welcome to Hatha Yoga live at 5 with me, yoga teacher Lesley Wilson. So hopefully you've all had a good day. It's been lovely and sunny, but it's been a little bit chilly in that breeze. So needless to say, I've spent most of my day out in the garden, finding jobs to do, etc. Hello Tina, how are you? Hope you're all right. Hope you've had a good day. And yeah, it's been nice. So not feeling quite so reflective today. Yesterday was a bit strange, obviously, with the announcements about the hair and beauty industry. As indeed, I'm certainly not alone. There are thousands, if not millions, of us all over the country who are in the same boat, all over the world, in fact. So yeah, I'm just grateful that I've got what I've got, and I've got a safe place to live and food to eat. So yeah, life is good. Anyway, so I've had a request from someone who attends regularly not to work you too hard this evening. I know we did quite a strong leg class last night, so we'll try and do something a little bit different today. And as I said before, if you've got any requests or anything that you specifically would like to see me cover that I can reasonably and safely teach in these classes, then please feel free to pop it in the comments box. So I'm going to grab a seat over here on the mat. It's becoming quite normal for me now. It's like, oh, time to go teach yoga. So same rules apply as always. If I ask you to do something and it doesn't feel right for you, even if you normally can do it and today your body's just telling you no, then you need to listen to your own body and just literally be kind to yourselves. No need to push yourself too far. That's not what these sessions are all about. So really these sessions I kind of started, I didn't think we'd be doing them for this long, if I'm honest. I mean, I'm realistic enough to know that going back to teaching yoga, boom, in a packed room is not going to happen. And who knows, I think the future of classes and what have you is going to change in the future, but no one knows. We're just going to have to wait and see. So yeah, when I started these, it was really just to give people a little bit of structure, a little bit of continuity, because it was a really strange way of life, wasn't it? When we went into lockdown, it was all of a sudden, boom, shut the door, that's it, you can't go out. So I think for me, it was partly to keep my own practice up, because I know what I'm like. If I haven't made a commitment to be somewhere, I might think, do you know what, the sun's shining, I'll just stay out in the garden, maybe I'll have a beer. But making myself do this at 5 o'clock every day has actually been really good for me and my mental health and my structure. So massive thank you to everyone who tunes in and continues to support me. So I will be here for the foreseeable, at least for the next 8 weeks, if nothing else. Enough of my waffling. So let's begin. Namaste. So just come into a seated, comfortable position. Doesn't have to be cross-legged. You can be seated on a chair if that's better for you. Absolutely fine, not a problem. Or you can just sit with your back supported by a wall. Just trying to keep the spine nice and straight and the crown of the head lifted. So we're going to work with our breath awareness. I know we do this once a week, but I'm kind of, giving a lot of thought to things that I can and can't teach safely. There are some much stronger breathing practices, but it really isn't safe for me to teach those without being actually present in the room to make sure that everyone's doing it properly. And there are quite a lot of contraindications. So it's best that I leave those complicated ones until we're back teaching face to face. So let's just bring the hands so the palms are facing up towards the ceiling. We don't need to bring the hands into a mudra or a gesture. Just have the hands relaxed, so as you would be if you were in Shavasana, with your fingers just lightly curled. And then just close the eyes, and then just allow the breath to settle, breathing smoothly in and out through the nostrils. No need to count or control the breath in any way, just allow it to happen naturally at your own breathing pace. And maybe you can hear the breath, maybe you can't. And then I want you to think about whereabouts in the body you can feel the breath. Where do you notice the breath within your own body? Everyone's different, there's no right or wrong. So you might feel it in the belly, or you might not. What about in the rib cage? Can you feel anything going on in the rib cage? And maybe the sternum, the breastbone, maybe you can feel that. Could be the top chest, the clavicular area, maybe you can feel the breath there. And maybe you can feel the breath in the shoulders, maybe the shoulders are moving as you continue to breathe. You'll almost certainly be able to notice the breath in the nostrils as it enters the body. And now you've tuned into whereabouts in the body you can feel the breath. Maybe think about how the breath is feeling. So is it rhythmic? Is it smooth? Is it laboured? And then we're just going to add our little finger movement now with the breath. So the next time that you breathe in, stretch away the fingers. Nice big space between the fingers, straighten them out. And then when you breathe out, allow the hands to just relax. So breathing in, stretch away the fingers. And breathing out, allow the hands to relax. So the fingers will curl back in. Breathing in, stretching away. And breathing out, curling back in. And just continue in this way with your own breathing rate. And as you link that movement between the fingers and the breath, maybe there's a little pause that occurs somewhere naturally. Don't force one, just see if you can bring your awareness if there is a pause. And then after the next exhalation, we can release this activity, this breath awareness, and then we can come down onto the mat. Coming into a short relaxation, so just coming into Shavasana, or your best version of Shavasana. So you can stretch away the legs, if the lower back allows you to. Make sure you've got a nice big space between the heels, just let those feet flop apart. But remember, if that's uncomfortable, then you can always bend the knees, but make sure you've got the feet nice and wide so the knees can just drop in together. Legs are still nice and relaxed. So the arms resting a little way away from the sides of the body, palms turned up towards the ceiling. So the hands are nice and relaxed, so the fingers are just gently curled. And then if the neck feels okay, you can lift the head, look down the body, and then rest the head back down on the mat. So you're going to lengthen the back of the neck and bring the head in alignment with the spine. Tucking in the chin, eyes gently closed. A couple of nice, steady, strong breaths here. And then let's hug the knees in towards the chest. We're going to clasp the hands around the shins and then ease out the back, so just beginning to rock gently from side to side. Head and knees going in the same direction at the moment. And then just, this can be as slow as you want it to be. Sometimes it's quite nice to explore. And then we're going to start to ease out the neck, so we're still rocking from side to side, but the head's going one direction now and the knees in the other. So keep it nice and smooth. And then we can come back to centre. Let's bring the hands and place them on the two kneecaps, and then we can circle the knees. So just nice, big, slow, smooth circles with the knees, just warming up the hips, lower abdomen, lower spine. And then we're going to go back in the opposite direction, so still circling the knees, but back the other way now. And then we're going to send the knees off in opposite directions from each other, so still circling. Try and keep them circles as big as you can, so you're really working on the hips. And just come on back to centre. Let's place the 2 feet flat down on the mat with the heels just really close to the buttocks, feet hip width apart, and then we'll take the arms down by the sides of the body with the palms facing down towards the mat. We're going to warm up the spine with a gentle pelvic tilt, so you probably will know how this works by now. But breathing out, rounding the spine and tipping the pelvis forwards. And then when you breathe in, arch the spine, tilt the pelvis backwards. Breathing out as you round the spine, push the back of the waist into the mat. And breathing in as you arch the spine, lifting the back of the waist. So breathing out, round the spine. And breathing in, arching. And then just continue with your own breath. And then we can release this activity with the spine, but keep the knees and feet where they are as we move on to work with the bridge and the flowing bridge. And just remember, keeping the face looking directly up at the ceiling when the hips are lifted. So the next time you take a breath in, push down on the soles of the feet, the backs of the arms and the shoulder blades. Lift the hips up as high as you can. Excuse me. And then breathing out, lower the hips all the way back down. Rolling the spine down vertebra by vertebra. So breathing in, lifting up, squeezing the glutes and squeezing the thighs. Keep it nice and strong. And then breathing out, just rolling smoothly down. So just continue doing this with your own breathing. And then the next time that you breathe in and lift the hips up, float the hands up towards the ceiling and take them all the way back to the wall behind you. And then breathing out, you can lower the hips down and float the arms back down by the sides of the body. So breathing in, lifting up, arms come up and back. And breathing out, lowering everything gently back down. Hands and hips arriving on the mat at the same time if you can. And then just do a few more of these with your own breath. And then no need to rush or hurry, but the next time that you breathe out and lower the hips and lower the arms, you can release this activity. So let's keep the knees bent. We're now going to place the outer edge of the right foot on top of the left thigh. So I was just checking, I've been gardening in flip-flops this afternoon, but no, we're all good. No muddy feet. So that's saved me a bit of embarrassment. Okay, so let's hold on to that left ankle, sorry, the right ankle with the left hand. We're going to place the right hand somewhere on the right thigh. It could be on the knee or it could be further up, wherever is comfortable for you. So we're going to work on opening up the hips. So as you breathe out, push that right knee away from you. And when you breathe in, allow it to come back towards you. So breathing out, pushing away. Breathing in, back towards you. Breathing out, push that knee away. Breathing in, back towards you. We'll just do a couple more on this side. So breathing out as you push away. And breathing in, back towards you. Last one on this side, breathing out, push away. And breathing in, coming back towards you. So just readjust that right foot if you need to. We're going to leave it where it is. And then we'll lift the head, right hand goes through the triangle gap. And then we're going to take hold of the back of the left thigh. So we'll rest the head back down on the mat now. And then we're just going to use that, we're going to draw the left thigh in towards the chest. Now, not all of you will have their feet near their chest. Some of you may be here and that may be enough for you. That's fine. You're just working with your own, what your body wants you to do. And then we'll straighten the left leg. So keep that left foot flexed so you've got a nice stretch down the hamstring. And then just keep drawing that thigh in towards you if that feels okay. And then we'll bend the left leg. So we're going to switch sides now. So the right foot goes down onto the mat. And the outer edge of the left foot, well, that one is a bit dirty actually. You didn't need to know that, but hey. So the outer edge of the left foot is going to come and rest on the right thigh. So you can hold on to that left ankle with the right hand if you wish. Left hand you're going to place on either on the knee or further up the leg, depending on where's comfortable for you. And then when you breathe out, push that left knee away. And when you breathe in, bring it back towards you. Breathing out, push it away. Breathing in, back towards you. Breathing out, push away. Breathing in, come back towards you. A couple more, breathing out, push away. Breathing in, let that knee come back. Last one, so breathing out as you push away. And breathing in, let it come back. Okay, so just readjusting that left foot if you need to. Lift the head, left hand through the triangle gap this time. Join the hands together around the back of the right thigh. So we're now going to draw that right thigh in towards the chest. So you're opening up the left hip and getting a nice stretch on the piriformis muscle. And then we're going to extend the right leg up to the ceiling. So flex that right foot so that you've got a stretch up the back of the calf and up the right hamstring. And then just continue to draw that right leg in towards you. And then coming all the way down. So let's bring the feet so they're back on the mat again. We're going to work with a spinal twist. So let's take the arms out wide at right angles to the sides of the body. Remember, if you haven't got enough space, just turn the bend at the elbows. And then we're going to work with a spinal twist. So you can either keep the feet on the mat or you can have the knees closer in towards the chest, whichever feels more comfortable for you. So when you next breathe out, take the knees over to the right. And if the neck and spine feels okay, you can turn the face to the left. And then just hold it here. Don't forget to breathe. And then take a breath in as you bring the head and knees back to centre. And breathing out, take the knees over to the left and turn the face to the right. And then take a breath in, come back to centre. We'll do one more to each side. So breathing out, take the knees over to the right and turn the face to the left. Breath in to come back to centre. And breathing out, take the knees back over to the left and turn the face to the right. And then take a breath in, come back to centre. So we're going to come over onto our left side first of all. So coming onto our left side. And then we're going to stretch away the legs. So one foot stacked on top of the other. So trying to make a nice straight line between the soles of the feet and the crown of the head. And you've got two choices with you can either rest the head, you can come up onto the left elbow, rest the head in the hand. Or if that's uncomfortable for you, then extend away the left arm and rest the head on the upper arm, whichever feels better for you. You just want to have this right hand on the mat in front of you just to give you a little bit of balance. And then we're going to lift the right leg. So you want that foot, so it's almost the toes are pointing down. So it kind of reminds me of a karate kick. So the heel is higher than the toes, and you'll feel that can create a bit of a pinching in that hip there. But you know, if you can, if that's the case, then just lower the leg a little bit. That's good for the glutes, this one. So we're just going to hold that for a few breaths. Okay, so let's have a little bend in the left knee now. Roll back slightly onto the left buttock. So let's rotate those right toes now so they're pointing up towards the ceiling. We're going to take that right leg up. we're going to reach out with the right hand, take hold of the right leg. Now that might be there, and or it might be there, that's fine. What you're looking for is a stretch. So if you try and keep the foot flexed, you should find that stretches out the hamstring and the calf muscle. So just keep breathing. And then let's lower that right leg. So straighten both the legs again, come back onto the left hip, and then one foot stacked on top of the other, and then we're going to lift both the legs. And then aiming to keep the feet and knees lifted off the ground, let's bring the knees in towards the chest and use the inner thighs to squeeze the knees in together. And then we can stretch the legs away again. Let's lower the legs. So we're going to bend the right leg now and bring the right knee in front, down on the mat in front of the straight left leg. And then we'll lift the left leg. And then we lower the left leg. So you can roll over onto your right side. I'm going to switch ends so that I haven't got my back to the camera. And then again, you can either come up onto the elbow and rest the head in the hand, or you can extend the right arm away and rest the head on the upper arm. So trying to make a nice straight line between the soles of the feet and the crown of the head, or the top of the elbow. Bring that left hand down to the mat in front of the chest just to give you a bit more support. And then we're going to lift the left leg. Remember, the toes are pointing down and the heel's pointing up, so you might have a little bit of pinching in that hip. Okay, so let's roll slightly back onto the right hip. Have a little bend in the right knee. Rotate the left toes now so they're pointing up towards the ceiling. Take that left leg up to wherever is comfortable for you, and then you can either, it really does depend on the length of your limbs, but I've got incredibly long arms, so I can reach up and take hold of the sole of my foot, but you might find it's more comfortable to hold onto the back of the thigh or the calf muscle. It's just wherever's comfortable for you. And then just try and keep that left foot flexed so that you've got a stretch going up the back of the left hamstring and the left calf. And then we can lower the left leg. So one foot stacked on top of the other, both legs extended away, and then we'll lift both the legs. And then aiming to keep, excuse me, the knees and feet lifted off the ground. We're going to hug the knees in towards the chest and use the muscles of the inner thighs to squeeze the knees in together. This is really good for strengthening the core as well. And then stretch away the legs. Let's lower both the legs. Have a bend in the left knee and bring it and rest it on the mat in front of the straight right leg, and then we're going to lift that right leg. And then lower the right leg. So we can come back over onto our backs and just work with some leg raises. So we'll do 5 single leg raises on the right side, 5 singles on the left, and then if you're feeling strong, 5 doubles. However, if double leg raises are not for you for whatever reason, you've got a couple of alternatives. You can hug the knees in towards the chest, extend the legs up towards the ceiling and bring them back into the chest again. Otherwise you can bend the knees as you lower the legs, or you can just continue with single leg raises, or you can have a rest. It's not like I'm going to know, is it? Okay, so just beginning with the right leg, take a breath in and take the right leg up to the ceiling. Try and keep the foot flexed if you can, and then breathing out, lower the right leg most of the way down. Hover a couple of inches above the ground if you can. Breath in and lift, and breathing out to lower. Breath in to lift, breathing out to lower, breath in to lift, breathing out to lower. Last one on this side, breath in to lift, and breathing out to lower the right leg all the way down. So just give the legs a little bounce, or a little roll, whatever feels better, and then we're going to move on to work with the left leg. So take a breath in and take the left leg up to the ceiling. And then breathing out to lower most of the way down. Breath in to lift. Breathing out to lower. Breath in to lift. Breathing out to lower. Breath in to lift. Breathing out to lower. Last one, breath in to lift. And breathing out to lower all the way down. So give the legs a little bounce. Double leg raises now, or one of the alternatives or modifications. But if you're joining me, take a breath in and take both legs up to the ceiling. And then breathing out to lower most of the way down. Breath in to lift. Breathing out to lower. Breath in to lift. Breathing out to lower. Breath in to lift. Breathing out to lower. Last one, breath in to lift. And breathing out to lower all the way down. So give the legs a little bounce. So from here we're going to hug the knees in towards the chest, clasp the hands underneath the knees, and then just begin to ease out the back, rocking backwards and forwards a few times. Remember, if this is not your bag, then you can just ease out the back, rocking from side to side, totally up to you. And then we can come up to a seated position. So let's bring the soles of the feet together, matching up the pads of the toes, the balls of the feet and the heels. And then have the hands resting on the feet. So take a breath in, stretch the hands into the centre of the room, come all the way up, keeping that spine straight, looking up if the neck allows. And then breathing out, we're going to softly, softly come on down. Breath in, stretch out, come all the way up. And then breathing out, coming down again. One more time, breath in, stretch out, come all the way up. And breathing out, coming all the way back down. So let's just hold this forward fold here now. And obviously just remembering to keep breathing. And then take a breath in, lift the head, slowly come on up. So we're going to come into Sukhasana, cross leg position. However, if that's not for you, have the legs extended, nice big space between the heels. So we're going to come into a side stretch. So let's bring the left hand and place it in the left hip crease, and then the right hand can come out to the mat beside you. So take a breath in, straighten the spine, lift the crown of the head. As you breathe out, start to slide that right hand away from you. So it's important that you keep this left shoulder back rather than dropping into a twist. Some of us will be able to place the elbow on the mat, but not all of us. Doesn't matter, it depends on the length of your arms, to be fair. So taking that left shoulder back, trying to rotate the left side of the chest so it's up towards the ceiling, looking up if the neck allows, otherwise just looking into the centre of the room. And then extend that left arm up and across. Keep the arms straight so you've got a nice big stretch down the left side of the body. And then a few breaths here. And then take a breath in and then come all the way back up to centre. So the same on the other side now. So bring that right hand into the right hip crease and the left hand will come out to the side of you. Take a breath in, straighten the spine. Breathing out, slide the left hand away, right shoulder comes back, right side of the chest up towards the ceiling, face looking up at the ceiling if the neck allows, and then finally releasing that right arm up and across. Nice big stretch. And then breath in, come all the way back up. So a spinal twist now. So let's bring the right hand down behind the right hip. Take that left hand and rest it on the right knee. Take a breath in, straighten the spine. Breathing out, twisting from the waist. Let's turn to look over the right shoulder. Just hold it there, keep breathing. And then take a breath in, come all the way back round to centre. Left hand down behind the left hip, right hand will come and rest on the left knee. Breath in, straighten the spine. Breathing out, twist from the waist, turn to look over the left shoulder, just hold it there. And then take a breath in, come all the way back round to centre. So uncross the legs if you've had them crossed. We're going to work with our head to knee posture. So stretch away the legs. Give them a little bounce first of all. So we're going to be stretching out over the left leg first of all. So if you want to bring that right foot in nice and close to the groin, allow the right knee to drop out to the side. However, if that isn't for you for whatever reason, then you can have both the legs extended. Make sure you've got a nice big space between the heel, just protecting the lower back. So making sure that you come up onto the sit bones and then have the hands resting on the left leg, left toes pointing up towards the ceiling. Take a breath in, straighten the spine. And then breathing out, starting to ease the left side of the chest down towards the left thigh. So coming forward from the hips rather than from the waist, because you're not going to get a hamstring stretch like that. So you might find that you're here and you can already feel a pull. If that's the case, then you stop there. It's absolutely fine. So you can use the breath to take yourself deeper into the stretch. Imagine the spine lengthening as you breathe in. And then breathing out, maybe softening down a little bit more, but just watching the lower back. Any pinching, then you just need to ease up a little bit. And then we'll have a few breaths here. And then take a breath in, lift the head, start to walk the hands back in towards the body. We'll keep that right leg where it is now. And then draw the left foot in towards you, clasp the hands around the sole of the left foot, and then extend the left leg out in front of you. and then release. Stretch away that left leg. So we'll come into another spinal twist now. So we're going to bring the right foot and place it on the outer edge of the left leg. So you can stay with that left leg extended, that's absolutely fine. However, if you wish to, you can tuck the left foot underneath the right hip. And then we're going to bring the right hand down behind the right hip, and you can either hug the left arm around the right knee, or you can bring the left elbow to the outer edge of the right knee. So take a breath in, straighten the spine, and then breathing out, twisting from the waist. Turn to look over the right shoulder, just hold it there, keep breathing. And then take a breath in, come all the way back to centre. So we're going to switch sides now. So stretching away both the legs again first of all, give them a little bounce. So stretching out over the right leg this time. So either bring the left foot in close to the groin, allow that knee to drop out to the side, or have both the legs extended and a space between the heels. So coming back onto the sit bones once again, hands resting on the right leg and the right toes pointing up towards the ceiling. Oh, someone just sent me a love heart, thank you. Breath in, straighten the spine. Breathing out, starting to ease the right side of the chest down towards the right thigh. And then just allowing the breath to take you deeper, if your body will allow. So it's important not to hold the breath when you're in these postures. You need to keep the breathing nice and smooth. I know obviously it's slightly restricted on the right side when you're in this forward fold, but and then take a breath in, lift the head, slowly come on up. And then we can draw that right foot in towards us. Clasp the hands around the sole of the right foot. Try not to let the spine collapse. It's really easy to kind of round the spine when you're working with the heron. And we're going to extend that right leg out in front of us. And then we can stretch away the right leg. So coming into our twist again now. So bring the left leg up. Place the left foot so it's on the outer edge of the right leg. So if you had the left leg extended on the other side, you need to do the same on this side. So keeping that right leg out. Otherwise, you can bend the right knee, tuck the right heel underneath the left hip. So let's bring the left hand down behind the left hip, keeping that spine nice and straight. Keep the arm nice and close in towards the body. And then you can either hug the right arm around the left knee, or bring the outer edge of the right elbow to the left knee. Breath in to straighten the spine. As you breathe out, twist from the waist and turn to look over the left shoulder. Just hold it there. Keep breathing. And then take a breath in, come all the way back round to centre. So we're going to come into the pose of a cat. And I'm aware that time is whizzing away. So I said we're going to come into the cat, we're not going to come into the cat at all. We're actually going to work with our little vinyasa flow. So those of you that join me on a regular basis will be quite familiar with this. So I'm not going to demonstrate it. We'll just do a few rounds and then I'll show you what the add-ons are if you wish to join in with those. So if you can't sit back on the heels like this, that's not a problem. Just come up onto the knees. You can start from there instead. So let's bring the hands into Anjali Mudra, prayer position at the heart centre. So take a breath in, come up onto the knees, stretch the hands all the way up to the ceiling. As you breathe out, sit back down on the heels, stretch away the hands, bring your forehead to the mat, coming into the pose of swan. When you breathe in, come up into cat. Separate the feet, tuck the toes under, and then push back into downward facing dog. Breathe in to come back into cat. Breathe out, push back into swan. Breath in to come up onto the knees, bring the palms of the hands together, and breathing out back to starting position. So breath in to come up. Breathing out, coming down into swan. Breath in, up to cat. Separate the feet, tuck the toes under, breathe out into down dog. Breath in, back to cat. Breathing out to swan. Breath in to come all the way up, bring the palms of the hands together, and breathing out, prayer position. Let's do another one. Breath in to come up. Breathing out into swan. Breath in to come up into cat. Separate the feet, tuck the toes under, push back into down dog. Breath in, back to cat. Breathing out to swan. Breath in to come up onto the knees, palms of the hands come together, and breathing out back to starting position. So we're going to have some add-ons now, if you wish to, but you don't have to do them. So when we come out of, I'm just going to show you what, and then you can decide whether or not you want to join in. So when we come into down dog, so you have the choice here, you can swing through into plank. And then from plank, keeping the elbows nice and tightly tucked in, we're going to chaturanga. So lowering the body slowly down, and then just a little back bend coming into cobra. Back into down dog. Now if you don't want to do those add-ons, that's not a problem at all. You just wait in down dog, and then I'll call you back in, and then you can join back in with the rest of the sequence. So don't feel that you have to do the add-ons, they're just there if you wish to work a little bit harder. So bring the hands into prayer position, and then come up onto the knees, stretching up the hands, and then sit back down on the heels, head to the mat, coming into swan, come up into cat, separate the feet, tuck the toes under, push back into down dog. So you can wait here in down dog, or you can swing through into plank. Elbows tucked in, body nice and straight, chaturanga. Gentle cobra. Tuck the toes under, push back into down dog. If you've been waiting in down dog, you can join back in, coming into cat. And then pushing back into swan. Come all the way up onto the knees, bring the palms of the hands together, and finish in prayer position. So we'll do one more of those with the add-ons if you're working with them. So coming all the way up, and then sit back into swan, come up into cat, separate the feet, tuck the toes under, up into downward dog, swing through into plank, elbows tucked in, chaturanga, gentle cobra, tuck the toes under, push back into down dog. If you've been waiting here in down dog, join back in, into cat. I forgot where I was going then, sorry. Back to swan. Shoot me now. All the way up onto the knees, palms of the hands come together, and finish in prayer position. Okay, lovely. I do like that little sequence. Okay. So, we are going to work with, sorry, I'm covered in cat's hairs. I shouldn't have told you that because you probably wouldn't have seen it. We're going to come into a couple of seated balances. So the first one we're going to work with is the lotus flower balance, and I still haven't learnt the Sanskrit for this, so my apologies. So we're going to have the knees relatively wide, just the feet on the floor, and we're going to hook the elbows underneath the knees. So walking the feet back in, we're just going to come up, bring the feet into foot prayer position, hands in chin mudra. So this is lotus flower. I really like this. So just a few breaths here. You can close the eyes maybe as well. Yeah, that's quite nice. And then we can open the eyes if we've had them closed. Release Chin Mudra with the hands, and then just gently lower the feet back down, untucking the arms. So keep those knees bent. And then we're going to work with Balancing Bear. I can't remember if it's Balancing Bear or Baby Bear. Anyway, it's a bear of some description. Make sure that you haven't got a wall too close behind you. If you have got furniture behind you, make sure it's soft, just in case. Because any of you that saw my husband attempt this little balance will realise that sometimes you might go a little bit too far back. Okay, so we're going to hook the right hand around the sole, the inside of the right foot, so underneath the right instep. So our elbow is on the inside of the knee. And then we're going to extend the right leg out to the side. So straighten the leg if you can. Don't worry if you can't. And then we're going to bring it back in. And then we'll do the same with the left leg. Yeah, you know where this is going. Straighten the left leg if you can. And then bring it back in. Okay, so just being careful. It does take a bit of balance on the sit bones. So roll back slightly, taking hold of both the feet. Just come back slightly onto the sit bones. When you feel that you've got your balance, you can extend both the legs out. Some of you will be able to straighten your legs. Some of you will find that it's just not possible. And that's no fault. That's literally just down to body proportion. So if you feel nice and balanced, you can start to bring the feet in towards each other. This is when it can all go wrong, so just be careful of anything behind you. And then taking the legs back out wide again. It's very dignified, not. And then bend the knees, try and keep that balance on the sit bones, and then if you can, come straight into a cross-leg position. If you can't, don't worry, it doesn't matter. Okay, so just a seated, comfortable position, doesn't have to be cross-legged, and we're going to start by rolling the shoulders. Nice big circles with the shoulders. And don't forget, you can leave me a little wave in the comments box to let me know that you're here. I will answer you, I promise, after I finish teaching. And then back the other way. And then let's relax the shoulders down. So take a big breath in and squeeze the shoulders up nice and close to the ears. And then, big old sighs, you let them fall away. Breath in and squeeze. One more time. And then take the chin down towards the chest. Take the chin up to the right shoulder and back down to the chest. And then up to the left shoulder and back down to the chest. Once more up to the right shoulder, back down to the chest, and once more up to the left shoulder, back down to the chest, and then we'll lift the head. Take the right ear to the right shoulder, bring it back to centre, left ear to left shoulder, back to centre, right ear to right shoulder, back to centre, left ear to left shoulder, back to centre. Turn the face all the way down to the right, come back to centre, and all the way round to the left, and back to centre, once more round to the right, and back to centre, and once more round to the left, and back to centre. So just pop on down onto the mat now, making yourself ready for your relaxation. So coming into your best version of Shavasana. So that could be with the legs extended, nice big space between the heels, feet just flopping apart because the legs are nice and relaxed. Or it could be you prefer to bend the knees, make sure you have the feet nice and wide and allow the knees to just fall in together so the legs are still nice and relaxed. No effort there required. And then just take the arms a little way away from the sides of the body with the palms turned up towards the ceiling. The hands are nice and relaxed so the fingers will just naturally curl. And then if the neck allows, you can lift the head and look down the body. Rest the head back down on the mat. And that just lengthens the back of the neck and tucks in the chin, bringing the head into alignment with the spine. Eyes gently closed, which I'm sure you've already done, but just in case you haven't. And then just allowing the breath to settle back down. So just breathing smoothly in and out through the nostrils. So just no need to count or control the breath at this precise moment in time, just allow it to occur naturally, just flowing freely and smoothly. And then as we did at the beginning of the session, just becoming aware of the breath and trying to really focus on whereabouts in the body we can feel the breath. And remember, there's no right or wrong answer. It's just you becoming aware of your own body as you continue to breathe. So just thinking about where you can feel that breath. And then just observing how the breath feels after the practice. Does it feel any different to how it did at the beginning? So just imagine everything softening down, sinking down deeper and deeper into the mat as you continue to relax. And then just becoming aware of all the physical meeting points between your body and the mat. And so it's nearly time to end this final relaxation. So just gently starting to wake the body up. You might want to start with wiggling the fingers and the toes first of all, just really small gentle movements. And then maybe waking up the joints, so just circling the wrists and circling the ankles. And then you can start to wake up the neck, so maybe roll the head from side to side a couple of times. And then maybe you fancy a stretch of your yawn, so if that's what makes you feel good, go for it, do it now. And then just rolling over onto your preferred side, and just keep your eyes closed for a few more moments. And then in your own way, in your own time, just making your way back up to a seated position. And so we'll finish. Om Shanti. Thank you very much once again. Very grateful for your continued support. And who have we got today? Katie, Kate, Tonya, Joy, Katie, Laura. Hello everybody, whoever's still there anyway. So thank you once again for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the class. Karen, that was a bit of a gentler one. Okay, so hopefully they're still talking to me now. So I will be here tomorrow. Have a lovely evening. Let's hope we've got a nice sunny day again tomorrow. I haven't even looked at the forecast, so you're welcome. Hi Angie. So yeah, have a good day tomorrow. Have a lovely evening this evening, and I will catch you all at 5, or you can catch up with this class later if you haven't got time to do it now. But thank you once again for watching, and see you all soon. Bye. Thank you.